Hey guys, good morning and welcome to another Tasty Tuesday. I'm going to be making muffins today. I'm making lemon blueberry muffins to be exact. They are going to be super high in protein. So I'm really excited to show that to you guys. That's what we're going to be doing on this Tasty Tuesday. If you're new to these lives, my name is Sierra. I am a nutritionist, health coach with 310 Nutrition. I like to do Tasty Tuesdays, which is today at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, where I create some sort of food with the 310 shake, which I have right here in my nice little container. And on Thursdays, we do a Thirsty Thursday, where I make a new shake recipe, again with the 310 shake. Different recipes each time. Tasty Tuesdays are pretty fun because we get to do something related to food versus just a shake. But honestly, I love Thirsty Thursdays too, so hopefully you'll be joining me. If this is your first live feed, welcome, and I hope it will not be your last. I like to kind of talk you guys through what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. If you guys, actually, bring it back, before I get started, if you guys have recipes, suggestions or ideas or anything you want to see, or like a recipe that you love, leave it in the comments, because we're gonna what? It makes no sense. We're gonna go look through the comments and find a recipe and hopefully like preview it or showcase it in another live feed. Personally, I love shake recipes because they're kind of like cooking, where you can do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's not really so much like baking, which we're gonna kind of be doing today, which that reminds me of something else I'm going to tell you guys after this. But I like seeing other people's recipes, so you can kind of just like make it your own. So if you guys have recipes you want to see me remake, leave it in the comments. Back to what I was saying, baking. So today we're going to be baking, which I think a lot of Tasty Tuesdays are baking, but I don't care for baking because it's harder than cooking in my opinion, because baking is very precise. Everything has to be measured correctly. You can't have any freedom to like change up the ingredients really. So I like cooking because it's fun. I can do a pinch of this, pinch of that, whatever. However, I like muffins. I very much like muffins. And sometimes I just want a muffin for a snack or part of a snack or part of my breakfast. But I would like to know what's in the muffin, right? And like, yeah, I could go buy muffins and read the ingredients, but I prefer to make them, like to know what's in my muffins or anything that I'm eating really, but it's a struggle because I don't like baking, right? So if you're like me and you like muffins and you don't like baking, this recipe is for you. If I can do it, you can do it. It takes maybe 10-15 minutes like to put everything together, another 20 minutes to bake, and obviously it's going to take longer because I'm talking to you guys, but long story short, if you guys like muffins, if you like knowing what's in your food, but you don't really care to bake and you don't want to like be doing like those crazy baking recipes, this is for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and now finally get started. I think I have everything out besides my blueberries because those are frozen. So I'm gonna leave those in the freezer until I'm ready for them because I don't want them to like thaw out at all. So this recipe to start calls for a banana and chia seeds, applesauce, and a liquid, which is right here. So you guys can use any milk you want. You can use almond milk, you could use regular milk, you could use coconut milk. I don't know if I said that already. I am using a plant protein milk. I am using this specifically because it's going to add even more protein to excuse me. It's going to add more protein to this recipe. Of course, the 310 shake already has 15 grams of protein per serving, which we'll get into this later. But I just want to add a little bit more protein, right? Because I'm going to be dividing up this recipe among 6 muffins. So it's not like there's going to be 15 grams of protein per muffin, right? Because it's going to be separated. So I'm just giving it a little bit more protein with this milk. And then some other ingredients as well, but you can use a plant protein milk if you want for extra protein, or you can use almond milk or whatever you have at your house if you already have something. Okay, so first I'm gonna do the banana. I recommend you guys do the banana first because you need to mash this. So this is, it could be more ripe, but it's definitely not like, not ripe, I guess. So I'm using like 1 medium banana. And what you do is you just are gonna mash it. So I have my bowl right here. And then I found using a fork is actually easier, even though you're gonna be mixing and stuff. The fork seems to be easiest to mash the banana. And if you want, you could literally use your hands. That probably would get pretty messy, but sometimes you just gotta get messy in the kitchen. But I'm gonna be using a fork today, so I'm just mashing the banana in this bowl. And you want to try to get it pretty smooth, but if you don't want to spend forever sitting here mashing this banana, it's totally okay. You just want to mash it so that there's not like any big chunks, or at least not too many big chunks. But in the dough, or in the mix, I guess, I don't know, are muffins called dough? Muffin dough? I don't know if that sounds right. But in the batter, should I say batter? Yeah, in the batter, you won't really be able to tell too much if your banana isn't perfectly mashed. So it's kind of just a personal thing, I think, but the more mashed you can get it, the better. But again, like, you don't have to spend all day here. But if you use a fork, it's gonna be so much easier. I actually made this recipe, I've made this recipe twice now, and at the first time I used a spoon, and it was just way more difficult. So save yourself some time and energy and just use a fork. I'm almost done, actually. I'm just trying to be a little bit like precise for this one. And preheat your oven. So if you guys are doing this already, make sure you have all your ingredients out. Make sure your oven is preheating to 400, and you're gonna need a 6 muffin pan, or you can use a dozen and just only fill half of it. And you can use those little muffin cup things. I forgot them every single time, so I actually just greased the muffin tins with some olive oil and or spray. So if you don't have the muffin like cup things, you can just spray the tin so that they come out and they don't stick. It's not as easy. If you have the little cups, do it. But if you don't, I mean, you can still make these and it'll come out pretty easily. They just won't be completely perfect, which nothing's ever perfect anyway. Okay, so I have my banana. That's pretty well mashed. I'm happy with it. And next I'm gonna add my applesauce. So I went to the store and bought unsweetened applesauce. So, which is weird. I realized I haven't bought applesauce in so long. Like, I don't really ever eat applesauce, I guess, but I don't know. I found it in the baking aisle, and it's just unsweetened applesauce, and the ingredients are organic apples. So there you go. And this is actually a half cup. So you're gonna use 1 medium banana that's ripe, and then you're gonna use a half cup. And I already measured this in a measuring cup to know that it's a half cup, so I can just put the whole thing in there and I don't have to worry about measuring it every single time. And this is going right in, this is a 1 pan or like a 1 bowl dish, so it's going right in this large bowl. Alright, and then let me just make sure I get the majority of it out. Put that away. And then I'm gonna mix it up. And just kind of like make sure it's all mashed and mixed together, which is pretty easy because it's just applesauce and mashed banana. So next, I'm gonna add my liquid. So this is a half cup, about a half, yeah, it's a half cup of the plant protein milk, remember? But again, you can use any milk you want, or like non-dairy milk, totally up to you. I'm adding it right to this bowl. And then what I'm gonna do is add the milk's actually kind of thick, so I try to get most of it out. I'm gonna remix that, but very gently because it will splash. I speak from experience. All right, so now that I have that all mixed in this bowl, and it doesn't have to be a super large bowl, like you guys can see, it's not the biggest bowl ever. I mean, you're only getting about 6 muffins worth of batter, so it doesn't have to be huge. And then next, I'm gonna use my chia seeds. So this is also another source of protein. Seeds in general, like chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds, sunflower seeds, they're a good source of fats and some protein and some fiber. So it's a really, really cool food, any seed in general. I don't know if you can substitute another seed. Like, I don't know if you could use flaxseed for this. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. Again, baking is pretty specific, so I would follow it to this. I would use the chia seeds if you're making this, or you can be adventurous and try something else and see if it works, but this is gonna kind of act as a binder. So we have a very soupy looking mixture going on here, and this is gonna kind of help to bind everything because the chia seeds will actually absorb a bunch of the liquid and like hold the muffin together so it's not just soupy and runny. We're gonna use 3 tablespoons, and I broke my this today, which is sad. So I'm using this, which is a tablespoon, but it broke off. So I'm using just the little cup. So it might look a little weird, but it's a tablespoon. And I'm gonna do 3 of them. And then what we're gonna do is stir it in. And we're gonna wait about 2 minutes so that the chia seeds have time to absorb the liquid that's in the bowl, and then we're gonna add the rest of our ingredients. So that's 3. Oh, I don't wanna put that in there. All right, and then we're gonna put this away. And I just added it to this bowl, and now I'm just mixing it in. And like I said, we'll wait a little bit, and then I'll show you guys the next ingredients that I'm gonna do. But while we wait, we will let these chia seeds fully absorb all the moisture in this bowl so that we have an actual muffin that can hold together and not just this soupy banana mashed banana mix. Okay. And I'm just gonna make sure that it's kind of like gonna be pudding-ish type. When you're done with it, when you come back to it after the 2 minutes, it's gonna kind of look like a pudding, and that's totally okay. That's what you want. You want it to just be a little bit thicker. All right. I'm gonna stop stirring now. I don't know why I find that so like appealing, but I could just stir that for, I don't know, is that weird? Anyway, moving on. Next, I have a few ingredients to use, well, more than a few. I think what we'll do is we'll start with the collagen. So this is the 310 collagen. It's unflavored. It is a powder. There is a scoop inside, which I guess I could show you guys. This is the scoop right here, this guy. So I want to add some collagen to this because number one, it's unflavored, so it's not like it's gonna change the flavor of the muffins. I'm not gonna add a lot though because I don't want it to be too powdery where the muffin just kind of falls apart, where there's not enough moisture. But I do want to add this. Again, it's not flavored, so it shouldn't change the flavor at all. Collagen is a really good product for kind of multiple different things. Number one, I think it's probably most sought after because of its skin effect. So as we age, as we grow older, our skin naturally loses elasticity. That's just how the cookie crumbles, right? It happens, it's normal. But what the collagen can do is it can help to kind of repair that elasticity of your skin to keep it more taut so you don't have that looser looking skin. It also helps support like your teeth and your bones. Sorry, I'm like trying to read the label for you guys, not like I already don't know, but it helps to support strong bones and as well. So if that's something that you guys are looking for, and again, as we age, as we grow up, our body just becomes weaker, right? So the collagen can really help your skin and your bones in that way, and like your joints too. So if you notice that you're having issues with your joints, this could be another product to add in. And because it's unflavored and because it's a powder, it goes so easily with 310 shake. Obviously today I'm making muffins, but this is something that you can easily throw in a shake and have it that way. Mix it in with a lemonade. I've seen people do that too, which the lemonades are amazing, especially when it's so hot out. So just add in the collagen and it's super simple. I'm going to use not a full serving because remember, I think sometimes people get caught up on servings and saying like, oh, it's, the serving size is 12 almonds. Like, okay, all that means is in 12 almonds, there's this many calories, this much fat, this much protein, etc. It doesn't mean you have to have 12 almonds, and it doesn't mean you can only have 12 almonds, right? Like, if you're only having almonds for a snack because you can't have access or you don't have access to any other food, like 12 almonds is gonna basically do nothing, right? So just a reminder that the serving size is just a way to measure what's in the amount of food you're using. So I'm not going to use a full serving size for this, which the servings is 2 tablespoons. I'm probably going to use, my dog is like about to destroy some wine glasses over there. I'm going to use probably like a 4th scoop, which is like probably a half tablespoon, just because I don't want it to, again, take up too much moisture to where we just have everything like falling apart. So, and then I'm just gonna throw it back in here. And this, I just put in the cupboard or cabinet with all my other products. It doesn't need to be like specially stored or anything. Obviously you don't want to really have any food product like in direct sunlight or in high heat. So if you're living in Vegas, make sure you're not leaving your stuff anywhere like outside or even near a window. But for the most part, it just stores normally. And then I'm just gonna mix that in. And it definitely is kind of like a pudding at this point, which is good. That's what we want. Next, I'm gonna add the 310 MCT. So this, shake it up. Make sure you give it a nice little shake. It should be stored in your refrigerator after opening because it's an oil, MCT oil, it's naturally going to separate because oils separate. So just make sure that by giving it a little shake, you're just getting everything evenly distributed. This is an excellent source of healthy fats. No, you don't have to be keto to use this. Yes, you can be keto to use this. It does not matter if you're keto or not keto. Everyone needs healthy fats in their diet, everyone. And this is a really great way to get in some healthy fats. It is also unflavored, which is nice. I've seen a lot of people use this in their shakes. I've seen some people use it in their coffee or with their tea. I'm gonna be using it in this recipe today. I'm gonna be doing probably like maybe half a tablespoon, I think we'll go with, because again, I don't want to change this recipe too much because I know that it needs to be a certain way to be able to hold together properly, so I don't want to add too much to it. So I'm going to do a half tablespoon, but the serving size is a tablespoon. But again, it's just a way to measure what's in the food. So let me get my little, is this the, okay, right here. And I'm going to do half tablespoon right to the batter. Did we say batter? Yeah, I think we said batter. I don't know, it just doesn't sound right. Muffin batter? I don't know. I don't know why it sounds so weird to me, but I'm gonna add it right in there. And then just mixing it in as I have everything else. All right. A few more things to add. So we added the collagen, we added the MCT. Let's do the shake powder. Let's do all our 310 products at once. So we have the very last ingredient, which is arguably like probably the most important ingredient, or one of them, which is the 310 shake. This is the vanilla shake. I have it in this container because I don't know, I had the container, I wanted to use it. My cabinet was getting a little full of the 310 bags. This fits the whole shake bag won't fill this container in entirety, but a full-size shake bag is 28 servings, and it comes with the scoop. So if you'll read the back, it says serving size is 1 scoop. Well, of course we have to give you a scoop. So your scoop looks like this. Okay, and that's gonna be in the bag somewhere. Sometimes it's lower in the bag, but it's usually almost always there. If you have these smaller packets that are like yay big, that's actually equivalent to 1 serving. So that entire packet would be about equal to this. So it's just a way to sample the product. So you would use the whole packet, right? In this shake, there are 15 grams of protein, which is crazy good. Obviously this is the vanilla, but we have various flavors as well. There's going to be 7 grams of carbs, and 5 of them are going to be fiber. So not only is it a high fiber food, because a high fiber food is anything with 4 grams of fiber or more per serving. So it's a high fiber food, but when you subtract the fiber from the carbohydrate, it leaves you with just 2 grams net carbs. So, right? So very keto friendly if that's something you're doing. Hold on 1 second. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Okay. Sorry, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I could hear it. It was very loud. Okay. Where do we leave off? 2 grams net carbs per serving. No added sugars. The product is sweetened naturally with stevia, so there's not going to be any artificial ingredients or sugars of any kind ever, even in like all of our products, not just the shakes. So if that's something that is important to you, that you value in your food, that's going to be in all of our products, not just the shakes. And I think I mentioned that the full-size shake bags have 28 servings. So it lasts you a pretty good amount of time. If you're doing 2 shakes a day, which is what we recommend, 2 shakes a day to replace 2 meals, that lasts you about half a month. So you would need another bag to supplement that month. But the shakes are so easy because it's nutrition that you don't even have to think about. And yeah, being that they're only 90 calories, I love that it's only 90 calories because it gives you the freedom to make recipes like this, right? Like some other powders that are higher in calories, it's already a lot of calories in the powder alone, so you don't get to have the freedom to add fun like fruits and veggies and peanut butter and chia seeds, or make muffins out of this and still be low calorie muffins because there's just so many calories alone in the shake powder, right? So I love that it's only 90 calories because it gives you so much freedom. I mean, I've been doing Thirsty Thursdays for, gosh, probably like 4 years, and I have not made the same shake twice. And if I have, it's because I've wanted to make it. Like there are so many variations that you can do. For this recipe, I'm actually going to use 2 scoops. So I'm using 2 just because I need to add more. When you guys make this, you'll see it's still very soupy, like as is now. It just wouldn't bake because there's no flour or anything like actually holding it all together. We have the chia seeds which absorb moisture, but now we have to have kind of like a flour and stuff to hold it together. So I'm going to use 2 scoops. Again, it's going to help to kind of just start to form a muffin, an actual muffin out of this, and it's going to give us 30 grams of protein alone. I did that totally messy. It's giving us 30 grams of protein alone in this recipe. And I'm using the vanilla. And then I'm going to go ahead and stir this in like I have everything else, and just be very careful because it's a lot of powder, and I was being aggressive apparently and it already spilled. So just be careful. It does, once you get it stirring though, it does stir in pretty nicely. And just make sure all of it is coated. You don't want any like dry powder hanging out in your bowl. And it's starting to get thicker, which is good because we want it to be able to form muffins, right? And like rise. And speaking of rise, there is an ingredient we need to use in order for that to happen. And that is going to be our baking powder. So I'm going to make sure that I get this last little bit mixed, and then we're going to add one. Actually, I'm not going to add this yet because I need this first. I'm going to add my other flour. So I have my almond flour here. I need a half cup of almond flour. So if you're not familiar with almond flour, it's kind of like flour. It's just made from almonds. You can find it in the baking aisle of most grocery stores. I like to shop at Sprouts, but wherever you guys go, I don't know. I don't even know if Sprouts is available all around the country, but I like Sprouts. But anywhere you're going, check the baking aisle, and this should be with the other items in the baking aisle. And again, you're gonna need a half cup. So it's easier if you just keep stirring everything as you go, because you're adding so many dry ingredients at this point. You want to make sure that it's blending decently well. And so I'm going to kind of do the trick. I just fill up this measuring cup. I fill it up to excess, and then when I'm coming out of the bag with the scooper or the measuring cup, I use the side, if you guys can see it, the side of the bag as like my leveling knife. And I have a nice even level half cup here. That's a trick. If you don't want to get a knife and make it all messy and things like that, you can just use the side. And then I'm just adding that right to here. Okay. And then stirring in. And it's still stirring in pretty nicely, but it definitely is getting a little bit more dry, but that's good, right? Remember, we need it to hold and actually bake. So next, I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of coconut flour. So, oh, there's some hanging out on the sides. All right, I gotta wipe this up. Okay, I made kind of a mess with the powder. That's all right. like to clean as I go. I don't know, I've always kind of been that way. I clean as I go. Just that way when you're done, like you don't have a whole like overwhelming mess like staring you down in the face, right? It's just easier to clean as you go, I think. And I like cleaning, I think. It's cathartic. Call me weird, but I like it. Alright, next we're adding the coconut flour. So kind of the same thing as almond flour. It's like flour, but it's made from coconuts, right? So we're going to do 2 tablespoons of this with my little broken tablespoon guy right here. And then we'll mix that in. And again, I'm using the bag as my leveler. It's just easier that way, even though my thing is kind of broken. Not kind of broken, it's absolutely broken. We'll have to buy a new one because this is really inconvenient, but I didn't feel like doing a half tablespoon twice as much, so I'm just doing it this way. All right, last one. Mix that in, and then we have 2 more ingredients that we will add, and then we will 3 more ingredients that we will add, and then we'll be done. So I'm mixing this in, and I'm gonna add 4 more ingredients. I don't know. I'll tell you when I'm done. I keep forgetting. All right, because right now we just have all muffin dough flavor. So I'm gonna add 1 full teaspoon of the baking powder, and that'll hold everything together. Let me put this lid on before I drop it. And this one, we're doing a teaspoon. All right. This one actually has like a little lip on the edge where it acts as your leveler, which is nice. So I'm doing 1 teaspoon. And then I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of my vanilla extract. I made this without it once, and it really just gives it a little bit more flavor. Because I didn't have it the first time, and I was like, what will it matter? And it still tasted good, it just wasn't as good, so if you have it, use it. 1 teaspoon right into the bowl. And we're almost done. And remember, this needs to be refrigerated. So obviously right now I'm doing a live feed, but as soon as live feed's over, I will put this in the refrigerator. I don't know if I mentioned that to you guys, but you definitely want to keep that refrigerated. It says after opening. I just do it just before, just so I don't forget and like put it back in the cabinet or something by mistake. All right. Next up, we have the lemon. So this is a lemon blueberry muffin, so you can't have a lemon blueberry muffin without lemons or blueberries, right? So what I'm gonna do is I don't have a zester, which sucks because it would be so much better with zested lemon. However, it's okay. I'm going to just use, actually, let me try something. No, I'm not gonna try it. I'm just gonna cut the lemon. So I grabbed a fork, I need a knife. I'm going to cut this in half because we're going to use the juice of a whole lemon. And let me say, when I first made this, I held back on adding a full lemon of juice because I thought that's way too much lemon, but it's not, I promise you, or at least in my opinion. I definitely wish the first time I would have used all the lemon. So I will be using all the lemon. If you pick the seeds out first, it's easier, but this, I don't really mind picking like the lemon seeds out, so I'm just juicing the whole half first of lemon in the bowl. This one doesn't really have many seeds, to be honest, so it's actually not that bad. But if you have a zester, you would want to zest the whole lemon first, zest all of it. I know it sounds like a lot, but it really is not because you have so much other ingredients going on in there that by the time you add the lemon, it really does take that much to get a flavor. I'm literally squeezing it because I don't have the zester and I can't zest. I'm actually taking a little bit of the pulp of the lemon that is coming out as I squeeze it, and I'm actually adding that to the bowl. So if you don't have a zester and you'd like to add some of the pulp, that's absolutely an option. Just try to make sure you don't have any big chunks like this, otherwise that's going to be one seriously lemony bite, and I don't know how that would go over. So I'm just adding the pulp and then making sure I have all the lemon squeezed out. That one is good and done. and then the other half. And I still, right now, I still feel like, oh my gosh, this is too much lemon, but I'm telling you, it takes this much lemon because you have so many other ingredients going on. It really doesn't become overpowering, at least in my opinion. Taste is so subjective. So I always like to say, in my opinion, it tastes like this because 12 people could try the same thing and you could get 12 different opinions on how it tastes, right? So try it for yourself, which is why I like the starter kits with those little samples, because it's a nice way to try it and get a taste of it to see if you like it, and then that way, if you decide you do, you can buy it in a larger quantity, but you have tasted it first, right? So that's why I really like those samples. And they're good for traveling too if you need to travel. It's just a little bit more convenient. All right, so I got some pulp. I pretty much think I got all the juice from this lemon, and I'm gonna mix this in. And then I'm gonna add the last ingredient, which are the blueberries. And you want your blueberries to be frozen. You can use fresh blueberries, but I think the frozen just works a little bit better. So I have them frozen, or they should almost be frozen because I threw them in there I forgot last minute and I kind of threw them in there, so let me grab them. I wanted them to stay frozen, so I didn't leave them out here while I was doing it because I want them to be pretty frozen. I'm gonna do, honestly, I'm just gonna do a handful. You guys can measure out as many as you'd like. I'm just gonna do one handful and pour them right into one handful and like 3 more and put them right into the batter. And then I'm gonna actually I'll put it away in a second. And then I'm just stirring it in, and you're just stirring it in lightly. It doesn't have to be perfectly mixed, right? Because this is it's just some additional kind of flavor for your muffins. And they smell so good. It smells very lemony, but you can smell other things in it as well too, like the 310 vanilla. All right, so what we would do next is we would grab a muffin tin and we would put them in this, but I'm gonna show you guys, and again, if you don't have the muffin cups, you can just spray this with Pam or lightly wipe it with some olive oil, and what you'll get are these nice little muffins. I don't know if you guys can see this, but these are the muffins. They are very thick. Oh, this one's kind of, this blueberry chunk came off, but they're thick. They feel pretty dense, but they're delicious. I have tried them, and I made 6. So this batter, I have found you can split and make 12 if you want, but those 12 ones are gonna be really, really small, and I didn't really feel super satisfied like it was actually a muffin, which was the whole point of this. So I stopped making 12 and I started making 6, and they are just so good and delicious and easy to make. Tons of nutrition packed in here, and if you already have your shakes and your collagen and stuff, it's ingredients you already have. And personally, I love the lemon blueberry because I think it's just a very summer related treat in my opinion, and I'm just kind of like on a lemon kick right now. So that's what these look like. I think I'll put them out here for you guys. Again, super simple. You're gonna bake them at 400 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. I like to set alarms just because you never know, like ovens, they bake differently, they cook differently, just like microwaves and stuff. So I would set it for 400 degrees and set a timer for 10 minutes and then every 5. Just to make sure you don't forget, because I'm notorious for that and then I burn stuff. So if that's how you need to do it, but I would recommend cooking for 10, checking them for 5, checking them again. They are going to be pretty, I don't want to say flimsy. They don't hold together super, super well. However, if you had one of those muffin tins, that would make it, or not tins, but muffin cups, it would make it a lot easier to actually eat it like a regular muffin, kind of, right? Like with the paper around it. So that's one thing I would recommend, but if you don't have it, it's not the end of the world. I have been putting these in a Ziploc bag, or you can wrap them individually with saran wrap, totally up to you. That would be a cool way if you're like wanting them as a snack on the go, wrap them in saran wrap. I've been throwing them in the refrigerator and keeping them for about a week. I have been eating 1 or 2 a day until they're gone because they're good, but I'm storing them for about a week. That's what I would recommend. You could probably go a little bit longer, but I would say about a week, and then try to eat them or gift them. Super simple to make, and then if you look, our batter is very thick at this point. So you have a nice thick batter that bakes pretty well. And again, I do recommend that Billy Bears to be frozen, but they don't have to be, right? So that's it. Hopefully you guys think that these look nice if you can see them. I don't know, I'll show them to you before I say bye, but super easy. I have been eating these actually with a little melted almond butter and or peanut butter drizzled over the top, and it's amazing. So if that's how you want to try it, but super simple, easy. It does require some baking ingredients, but if you have them and you make these, I'm pretty sure you're gonna wanna make them again, so you'll have these ingredients, they won't go to waste. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this Tasty Tuesday. I will be doing a live on Thursday for Thirsty Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you guys, again, have recipes you'd like to see, have recipes you've tried and you've liked, let us know in the comments. We would be more than happy to feature it in another live. Again, my name is Sierra. I am a nutritionist, health coach with 310 Nutrition Community. And I want to thank you guys for joining. And hopefully I will see you next week for Tasty Tuesday and this week for Thirsty Thursday. Hope everybody has a good day. Bye.